Peace, everyone. How you doing? How you doing? I'm gonna try to take y'all back to the very first days of me entering the internet, doing what I do daily. I've been doing it, and it's my job to make sure that you understand my history, because people been out here lying about my history. So I'm trying to get episode one. I may not be able to get episode one, but I'm capable of giving you something. So let's play this.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Balance Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? This is Carl Albert, your host for the night. The show is called a Huddle, and it's because we want to huddle and deal with some things, get some things out in the open. And the title of this show tonight, which will be running all this month, is The Cultivation of Our Community. Whose job is it? I started this show with this topic like this and having it open like this so I can deal with numerous of things that goes on in our community, from the spiritual side to the physical side, you know, from our leaders and everything. So I had a song supposed to be playing. It didn't come on. My first time doing a show in a long time. I tried this in 2007. It didn't work out, but I'm back now, and I'm trying to reach some people. So I'm gonna try to play this song again. It's Lauryn Hill, Social Drugs. I think it's a pretty good song to start the show off with, you know, deal with the situation that we're trying to talk about here tonight. So I'm gonna try to play this song for you. Give me a sec.
Afraid to address the reality before me. Proud to confess that I'm addicted to a lie. So I seek temporary feeling to replace reality. Though the truth is telling me I have to die. But I've been taught to numb me. The day that don't confront me. I hate it when I find out that I can't get what I want to eat. This emotional tantrum has become sort of an anthem playing every time I need to take a little trip. To hide this condemnation, I'll find a combination of man-made stimulation to deny my situation. Now this unreality, distorting what I see, reporting back to me a sense of false security.
Okay, that was the song Lauryn Hill, Social Drugs. Now let's talk about some of these drugs spiritually that goes on in our community. I see I have a caller. 1 second, caller. I'm gonna try to get you in. Hello, caller. Are you there? Caller, you're on the line. Okay, can you hear me, caller? I'm not actually hearing my show, so I don't know if you're speaking back or not. I cannot hear you. You're on the air, though. What do you have to say, caller? Hello? Caller. I can't hear you. Okay, I'm hearing something now. How you doing, caller? Okay, caller hung up. I guess they was afraid to say something. Well, people, the topic for the night, like I said, is cultivation of our community. You know, as you till the ground and deal with crops and stuff like they do in the South, for those that grew up in the South, for those that didn't, you know, the more the soil is tilled and dealt with, the more productive the crop you get, the less productive the crop is. Well, it's the same way with human beings and their mental state. The more you take the word of God or take consciousness conversation to people and try to show them what's going on in the world from a knowledge standpoint, meaning know how to do things, know how to go about your everyday living, you tend to work that ground up, that fertile ground of their mind, and you work it up and you plant.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory,
Out, we can deal with the Bible song tonight for those that love to deal from the Bible's perspective. For those that love to deal just consciously or have anything to say, you can call in. The number is 646-716-9933. Forgive me for stumbling over that. Like I said, it's my first show, and I'm trying to do the best I can. I would like to go to Hosea and deal with this a little bit to strengthen some of the statements I made earlier. It's Hosea chapter 10, verse 12 and 13. It said, sow to yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up the fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord, till he come and rain righteousness upon you. It's verse 12. Verse 13. Yea, ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity. You have eaten the fruits of lies, because thou did trusted in thy way, in the mighty men, in the multitude of thy mighty men. Forgive me for stumbling over that. But if you can see from this scripture here that I just read, it said people are applying wickedness. They need to break up the fallow ground of their mind, for it's time to seek the Lord. And this is one thing that we advocate here at the Huddle, which is brought to you by Israel Doctrine Entertainment. And I'm your host, Carl Albert, better known as the Speckled Bird. And I'm trying to open up the lines and open up some dialogue about the situation that's going on in our communities. We have every day on the news from the north and the south. I don't hear the east and the west that much. We have killings in Memphis, Mississippi, Chicago, Missouri, all these different places, senseless murder because our neighborhood is not being cultivated. People are not breaking up the fallow ground of the youngsters' mind, of the elders, and I would hope someone would call in and we can have some more dialogue on this subject. You know, I sent out plenty tweets today informing people that the show will be on Facebook, MySpace. You can find the Huddle. You can find Israel Doctrine, the one that's bringing you the show, all that. So I still have this call on the line. I want to see if they want to say anything. Carl, I'm finna try to put you on the air. If you would like to say anything, please feel free to do so. Hello, caller? Caller don't want to speak. Okay. Since I have no argument or nothing, I would just like to speak about this subject a little bit more.
I want to pause it and talk to you all. See, I'm doing what other YouTubers can't do. Because this Huddle, it was free at first, but then they changed it to $39 a month. And I had 3 Huddles. I had 3. The Huddle 1, the Huddle 2, and the Huddle 3. YouTube has always been free. And many people that came out here and got a name on YouTube for free while selling their soul. So it's not truly free. Me, I've always been an independent man that didn't have to sell his soul to anyone. So I did what I did, and I paid for what I did to be relevant. This is something no other YouTuber has the ability to say or do. Now, there's a couple that can probably try to do it. They don't have their blog talk episodes, though. The Rock Squad was around, too. They don't have a blog talk radio shows, though. Sonetta was around. He don't have his blog talk radio shows. There was a lot of people. It was an era before YouTube. I was there. I was putting in the work. I have my blog talk radio shows. I can show you better than tell you. I can play you the audio. But as you can see, this is my very first show, so it's very boring. I keep getting a caller. I could tell you who the caller was. He was the elder at my old church and not the Israel of God. Right? He was calling in. He called himself showing support. I love the support, but I needed someone to speak to. When you don't engage with a host, then the host can't do nothing. I can't do nothing outside of myself. I need an audience, someone to speak to, someone to deal with, ask a question, or just say, thanks for what you're doing. Support is very valuable to a person in my position. Now, as you can see, the cultivation of the community is my conversation. It's all about cultivating the community. When I came out, into this very day, it's about the cultivation of the community, because the community need cultivating. When you got wizards and peepers and different stuff in the community messing up the community, dirtying up the community, because you got Filthy Frank, you got Dirty Kale, you got this, that, and everyone else that I done ran into in these YouTube streets that then created this environment that we in. All of these guys have been overtaken and overran by Sarnetta to the point where Sarnetta controls them. Sarnetta learned from the Arab by seeing how to take these people's soul, because Basim was out here taking their soul at one point in time. Still in Sarnetta live feeds, because he was doing live feeds and he was making money and stuff. But the Arab came in there and found out how to do this to the community and stuff. I was there fighting against all that stuff. But let's listen back to the show a little bit. I hop back in and speak, but I want y'all to hear the show.
If you would like to call in, though, the number is 646-716-9933. 646-716-9933. While I find some more documentation and things to bring, I would like to bring back the Lauren Hill, social drugs, give people a chance to call in, get off work if they're listening to the show or trying to make it to listen to the show. Here you go, Lauren Hill, social drugs.
Now this chemical analogy is our emotional reality. These political, traditional, and ethical statements and social etiquette won't let us be too upset with the way things really are. You're taught to camouflage regret and a religious structure tells you God wants us to suffer to support a situation we all know is obligation. And if you shut the complications, they'll just come your reputation like mouth intimidation to enforce participation. See that need to keep it seen to their lives and broken schemes. And if you find another me, he told you being too extreme. And if you wanted to get clean, they'll just pull those social strings, holding up their social norms, defying noble things. Now we're all stuck in tradition, unable to state our position, too afraid to contradict the expectations of the system. And the harsh reality is they've made grace to you and me instead of saving you and me. They're just enslaving you and me. These social drugs, these social drugs, these social drugs.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'm back, Carl Albert, host of the show. Name of the show is The Huddle. It's brought to you by Israel Doctrine Entertainment. The topic of the day is the cultivation of our community. Whose job is it? Who is on their job? Who is doing it? Who is neglecting it? Who is calling themselves on it but totally misconstruing the situation that they have been given to lead our communities in the proper manner where we will have good crop, better crop than what we have today in our youth and our youngsters, the young men and the young women that's running wild, rampant through the streets of the United States of America. Now, as I said, I put out plenty of notifications informing people that I will be on tonight. I had one caller. I thank you for calling, listening to the show. I appreciate that, even though you haven't made a comment yet, I still appreciate it. Maybe you don't have a computer to hear the show, but you still listening. I respect you for that. And as I said, I put out plenty of notifications trying to let people know that I was going to be on tonight talking about this situation. These same people that I get in the debate with every day on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and so on and so forth. No one wants to call tonight and challenge any of those things that I said, stated, been happening in the communities by these false prophets, these false teachers.
As you can see, I've always challenged the people in the community to deal with the community, the cultivation of the community, the false teachers, the false YouTubers in the dirty sector that's trying to get people into the LGBTQIA plus community and everything else. It's been a long, hard road from this very first show I ever did on the internet. I was asking people to come together then. They didn't know who I was then. They would come and attack me then. The and Ra squad was the number one, the Kemetic people, because they wanted to destroy the Hebrew Israelite. Never was a Hebrew Israelite, but I dealt with them back then. I've always been an Israelite Christian, but I dealt with Hebrew Israelites back then. Therefore, I was in a very privy place to deal with the people. That's how I ended up dealing with Sinetta TV, because he was bringing them ignorant New York Hebrew Israelites to the platform, and they was ignorant. They didn't have what it took to deal with what the Kemetics was bringing. And they hated other people, so I came with the gospel of salvation for others. They can get salvation. They can be one of us. They can do this. They can do that. They can be grafted in. All of that stuff. They said the Bible's a total lie. People can't be grafted in. They can't be this. They can't be that. They can't do this. They can't do that. They show you how ignorant the Hebrew Israelites have been.
Being puppet political dummies that we have in office. Hate to call them that, but some of them are. If y'all seen lately on the news, they telling on themselves with their adultery. Bad example for their children. And they doing some of everything. They punishing people.
See, this was before Khalil Money, and we was talking about the adultery and stuff, because we know that his mother was an adulteress. And his father was sleeping with that adulteress, making him an adulterer. We know what has happened. But I was dealing with this in my very first show. We should not have adultery and all that stuff in our community. But we can't tell grown-ups what to do. We can only counsel them into what to do.
I ain't crucifying them in the public eye by putting truths or untruths out there, which is still putting evil and wickedness in the mind of the people, because they take the time out to indulge themselves in the backbiting, name calling, and so on and so forth through the media, through Twitter, through all these social networks that we deal with, we on every day. As the song says, social drug. Everyone is on here trying to find a drug of choice, be it sex, money chasing, hate groups, where they just rag on people all day about things that should be addressed in a proper manner, so people could get beyond the ignorance and the bliss that goes on with the ignorance. So, like I said, this is my first show. I'm trying to reach out to people. I'm going to give you the phone number once again if you got your pen and paper. I appreciate you taking the number down, calling into the show. Again, me.
See, it wasn't no Israel of God, even on YouTube at this time. I'm the one that called them and asked them to come to YouTube so they can help me out in this work that I was doing. They came and became Hebrew Israelites. They weren't Hebrew Israelites at first. They came to YouTube and became Hebrew Israelites, something that I had to face and go up against. Lying elders that's been around lying to the people for years and stuff and following the social norm. But I already had my feet 2 years or so deep into BlogTalk, doing my ministry, doing my job, and they was watching me. They was paying attention. And little ones would be stealing my MO and taking it and showing the elders of the Israel of God. And so then they started doing what they doing. And they became the number one enemy to me on YouTube because they was afraid of me to talk to me and speak to me. I got them there. Instagram. I did a lot of stuff for them. I tried to help them, show love to them. But the people over there at the Israel of God are some hating Negroes. I hate to do this and say this stuff, but
right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic.
I gotta tell y'all my history, but we see that the audio is messing up. So we're gonna start with 30-minute shows, and then we're gonna grow. We're gonna do episode 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna show y'all my Huddle history, so y'all can understand when I came to YouTube what my YouTube history is. It's all about the cultivation of the community. It's all about the cultivation of the community. Matter of fact, I want to show y'all something so y'all can just see it. And show y'all the hard drive. The hard drive bit. Here it is right here. Y'all see it? The Huddle 2007. Y'all see it? Only did that for a little bit. But it's all about the cultivation of the community. Then we got 2009. And we got all of this. I got shows for days. I ain't never got to play. All I ask for and want and need is your support, people. All I need or ask for is your support. Now, if you don't want to give it, it's your support. You give it to who you want to give it to. But if you're feeding a dirty sector and the dirty sector content creators and stuff, you're wrong. And you will pay eventually. You will reap what you sow. But with that said, peace, love, y'all. I'm out. Leave comments on the bottom of the video if you choose to. Peace.